Welcome to another exciting episode of which I believe will be the final episode of this season of the Rollercoaster Diaries. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? The highs and lows, the twists and turns. Life, much like a roller coaster, never fails to surprise us. But today, I want to take a moment and share something deeply personal, something beautiful, something that reminds me why every twist and turn is worth it. Today, I want to talk about love, lerato, utando, not just any love, real love. The kind that feels like a quiet storm, a force so powerful it can uproot everything you thought you knew about yourself. Yet so gently, it feels like a whisper against your skin. That's what I found with Claire. Last night was, well, it was one of those nights that lingers. You know the kind I'm talking about. The kind where the world outside ceases to exist and all that matters is the warmth of her skin against mine. We tangled last night. There were moments where her hands were running up my chest to rest on my shoulders. Our lips crashed into each other. The kiss was so deep, so hungry. Her fingers tangled in my hair as I pulled her closer. Our bodies pressed together. The world outside faded away, leaving only the two of us, lost in each other. We didn't need words. We were really done. It was like we've built this little language of our own. A language of dances, touches, glances, and shared breaths. Last night, we danced to the rhythm of our heartbeats. Lost in the kind of passion that leaves you breathless and whole all at once. And when we woke up this morning, it was just as perfect. The soft glow of dawn crept through the curtains, painting the room in hues of gold and amber. Her head was resting on my chest. I couldn't help but marvel at how perfect she looked, how utterly beautiful. I traced the curve of her shoulders, careful not to wake her, and thought about how lucky I am, how lucky we were. Love like this doesn't come around more often. It's rare and it's precious and it's worth every ounce of effort it takes to nurture it. Claire is my safe harbor in the storm. She's my anchor. She's the one who challenges me, who pushed me to be better, the one who believes me even when I struggle to believe in myself. And yet, she's the one who knows how to make me laugh when the world feels too heavy. She's my partner, my confidant, my lover. And last night was a reminder of all that. A reminder of how deeply we are connected, not just physical, but in every way that matters. So today, as I sit here recording this with the memory of her touch still lingering on my skin, I can't help but feel grateful. This life we are building together, one steamy night and one quiet morning at a time. And that's when it hit me. What's so great about this? It's not about running away from everything. It's a chance to pause, to breathe. But you know, as much as I was feeling this deep, feeling this new, I did have an introspective moment. I'll be lying if I didn't admit I was also wondering how things were going back there. What was Lebu, my friend, up to? What about Mpumi? What about Sarah? What was she thinking? What I knew was that my dear wife Sarah and my friend Lebu were no longer just colleagues. I know at first it would be just casual, right? But now she had served me with divorce papers and she knew about me and Claire. They were left behind in the house, just the two of them, and I'm not sure what triggered it. Maybe it was the way he looked at her, a look that lingered a second too long, or it was the way she responded to it. It was like time stood still for them and they were finally able to cross a line that lingered in the air for too long. Now, I'm not in that chaos in the room. I can only guess what happens next. But I know my friend and I know my wife. And something tells me she's not just sitting there. Maybe they are both surprised. Maybe they are not. Probably in that moment they are lost to it. The years of familiarity, the closeness, the tension finally breaking. And I'm miles away. My wife, the woman I'm supposed to trust, was probably tangled in my friend's arms. But back at the penthouse, I'm not really innocent either. You see, my lawyer wasn't really a part of this mess. I just didn't expect things to get as complicated as they did. She was professional. She was always there when I needed advice. But somewhere along the way, things started to shift. Subscribe. But here's the thing. As I'm tangled up in this mess, there was Mpumi, Lebu's wife. She wasn't exactly just sitting idle by either. She didn't have anyone else to turn to. And everything she thought was stable had just been shattered. After all this time I've known her, seeing her going through all this pain, the struggles in silence. That night with me at the B&B, she was seeking comfort from me. I knew it wasn't just about the situation anymore, it was about us. About what we needed from each other when things fell apart. I didn't have any answers, but I wasn't about to leave her alone either. We talked and she cried her fears, her confusion, her own betrayal, and she needed refuge. She needed someone who wouldn't judge her. And somehow, I ended up being that person. So, on that confrontation night, with everything unraveling around us, we found ourselves in each other's arms. It wasn't planned, it wasn't intentional, but it happened. And at that moment, it wasn't about two people seeking solace in the only place they could. When I read the SMS Mpumi sent me this morning, it wasn't anything different from what I suspected. She said when she got home that morning after the BNB, she found Lebu and Sarah gone. They were not in the house and she didn't know where they went. She went on to say how empty the house was, alone and lonely. What happens next? I wish I could say it's all figured out, but nothing is. What I do know is that when you are caught in an entanglement, what you think is your temporary escape ends up being something you can't walk away from. As we come to the end of the first season of the Rollercoaster Diaries, I want to take a moment and touch and reflect on the lessons that we touched upon. Lessons that we can take with us, especially when we find ourselves in entanglements, whether emotional, romantic, or personal. We live in a world that often encourages instant gratification, where relationships can be treated as fleeting moments rather than deeply meaningful connections. And while the highs of passion, excitement, and desire can feel like a thrilling ride, it's important to remember that real lessons aren't in the adrenaline rush of the loops, but they are in the stillness after the ride has ended. One key lesson is this: know your worth and never settle for anything less than respect, love, and true connections. It is easy to get lost in the whirlwind of attention and affection. But at the end of the day, it's about finding someone who sees you, truly sees you for all that you are. Not for the mask you wear, not for the role they want you to play, but for the whole imperfect human being that you are. Another lesson is patience and self-love. In moments of confusion, where hearts are tangled and emotions are stretched thin, remember that healing isn't linear. It's okay to take a step back, to breathe and recover who you are without the influence of someone else. You don't need to be in a relationship to feel whole. Sometimes being alone is the greatest gift you can give yourself. And finally, growth comes from understanding. Entanglements teach us about our patterns, what we allow, what we tolerate, and where we need to change. Instead of pointing fingers and blaming others, ask yourself, what did I learn here? What can I do differently moving forward? It's not about perfection, it's about progression. So, to everyone listening or watching out there, no matter where you are in your journey, I want you to know this: your heart, your love, and your peace are worth fighting for. Don't be afraid to let go what no longer serves you. And don't be afraid to walk away from the things that keep on, the bad things that are never ending. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and know that there's a great ride ahead, a great smooth ride waiting for you. The one that's smoother, the one that's filled you with authenticity, and the one that brings you closer to your truest self. Thank you for being with us this season of the Rollercoaster Diaries, and thank you for your subscriptions. May you find peace in the chaos, clarity in the confusion, and lessons learned in the commotion. Until next time, I'm Freezer's Chorus, the very old young man with wisdom. Take care. You've got this.